Welcome back to the Talk with Maynard podcast, the podcast about motivation, awareness, disabilities, world problems, and cars.
And this week we're going to be discussing some of the frustrations that can come from living with a disability.
Let's get straight to the discussion.
So, I'm a capable individual. I don't have a disability, but I know a lot about the frustrations of living with a disability because and what those frustrations are like. There are frustrations even being a caretaker of someone with a disability. I see some of those frustrations Cody has with his disability. I may not know what it's like to actually live with him and feel his pain, but I'm probably as close to first-hand knowledge as you can get.
Having a disability can be very frustrating. I deal with many frustrations every day, at home and even more in the real world. Like my dad said, he knows what some of the frustrations are, but there's no way a capable person can truly understand what it's like to have a disability. Whether it's eating, relieving yourself after you eat, or the inability to get into certain locations, there's so many frustrations. We'll be discussing these frustrations that I deal with, and that's it. So I wanted to start our discussion off. This is like in public, and we're going to work our way from the outside in. So we're going to start with parking with it. And I'll let you kind of start doing that because you park, and then after that.
So they have spots that are designated for handicapped vehicles, and we have obviously vehicles with handicap designation. Well, if Cody's not with me, I'm not going to park in a handicap spot because I know that those spots are needed for the extra room to get in and out of a vehicle. And luckily, we don't even have necessarily that big a time because of the way our van is set up. But it is easier if you have a closer, better spot. But beyond that, just not even having the parking spots, people who will park on the one spot where you can get into a business or a building. There's a restaurant close to us, right in our neighborhood, and there's one sort of ramp to get into the building. It's an older building. I mean, like a lot of older buildings, people do what they can.
It wouldn't be hard to fix, though.
It wouldn't be too hard to fix. No, you're right. But people would park right on top of the ramp.
Yeah,
we would go there, and honestly, I posted pictures of cars on social media just because I was so mad because we would get into the building, and then Cody would have to somehow jump a curb to get out, or we couldn't get in at all because they parked the car right on top of the one ramp. And you see that not just a little podunk restaurant like I'm talking about. Sometimes bigger businesses where they have one ramp and somebody parks right on top of it.
Yeah.
So if you're able-bodied, just because you're driving grandma's car that has a handicap placard, don't park in the spot.
Even if you're like, it'll only be 5 minutes.
Only be 5 minutes. That's the 5 minutes somebody really needs a spot and might show up. And definitely don't park on the one ramp to a building. Please, people, watch where you park.
And then another thing I find frustrating that I think he's kind of forgetting about is our van's good, but what about these people that come to Walmart with their handicap plates and park their little smart car in the van spot?
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
That's right. There are spots that are designated more for a van. And again, ours is the way it's set up. We're fortunate that we don't take up a lot of room, but some of these side entry vans, they need a lot of room to decide to load and unload. So. And
if you do park next to a handicap spot, make sure you're not splitting spots.
Yeah.
Because it has that area with the lines, and it's for side entry vans, and the ramp slides out, and there's a car right there.
Yeah.
There ain't no way that person in that wheelchair is going to get in or out of the van.
Yep. If it has lines, don't park on it.
But that's parking. I kind of want to lump the next two things together: entrances and ramps. Mainly the lack of a ramp at some places. It's just there's places I want to enjoy, and I can't enjoy them because there's no ramp. There's so many times that's happened, and entrances too. Sometimes there'll be a ramp, but the transition to get through the door is just too high, and the chair will not get over it. And then they like to put stuff in the entrances or in front of it, and then you're moving things. Or you go to those places where it's like double doors. You have a glass door, and then the entrance, and then their glass door. Sometimes those glass doors aren't far enough apart.
Yeah.
And there's things like that.
Yeah. Entrances, just getting into a building, parking and then getting into it can be a real difficulty. Very frustrating.
Another thing that's frustrating is the lack of elevators. If I can't get to the second floor, how can I fully experience the place? In fact, this kind of brings up a story of a place that has an elevator, but it's like the scariest experience I ever had. There's this restaurant in Galveston, Texas that we really like, and they didn't have room for us on the bottom floor, so they wanted us to go to the second floor to eat. And they had this little bitty old school elevator with like the little gate that you close. And it was just barely big enough for just me in my power chair to fit in there. So I was in this dark little shaft going up. I couldn't see anything. It was bouncing around making all kinds of weird sounds. That's not an adequate elevator.
No,
I'm not even sure if it had the weight capacity for my power chair. I had to go up it and then I had to go back down it. But yeah, you need elevators in places, and it's frustrating when there's not one because I can't enjoy it good. And then we really need them.
Yeah.
And you need a decent elevator too. I don't want to get in the elevator and feel like I have to push the call button. So, yeah. I'll let you start with the next two because you see it first, and then I'll talk about some more.
being that I help Cody, I can firsthand talk about this one as well as he can, and that's public restrooms. And just because there's a handle or a bar on the wall, doesn't really make a restroom accessible. Sometimes the doors aren't big enough to even get into the bathroom, or the stall is designated handicap. It was handicapped because, again, there's a bar on the wall, so you can't actually get into it. Or just to be able to swing into the stall, there's not enough room between, they say, the door and the wall for a power chair to swing into, or even at that, the stall's not big enough to actually accommodate a chair. So we really appreciate when you go to a place and you have a plenty big handicap stall where Cody can actually maneuver around and get in the position so he can be helped to use the bathroom like anyone else can.
There's been instances where I just pull as far in the stall as I can, and we leave the door open.
You have to leave the door open. That's all you can do.
To help me use the restroom. And also, I really like just huge stalls.
Yeah.
Like the ones you see at Walmart, because the way I need to be scooted back in my power chair requires a lot of maneuvering and tilting it and stuff to get me back. And yeah.
And to that point, shout out to Walmart. Shout out to McDonald's. If you're traveling, if you're a disabled traveler, and you can read this on other people that do stuff similar, that write blogs or do videos or whatever, similar to what Cody does. But if if you're traveling, you'll kind of look for those places like, okay, there's a McDonald's. They always have a good handicap bathroom. There's a Walmart. I don't need anything at Walmart, but there's a bathroom in that Walmart that's big enough to use, because sometimes even the gas stations don't have an adequate bathroom.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to those places if
the best, until recently, the best bathroom stalls at a store was Target, because they had that family one in there. You can go in. Well, they start adding them to Walmart now, so
Walmart
that's really good.
has the family bathroom.
It's a one stall, one door. It's a room, and you can go in there and do your business, and you can spend more time in there if you need to, and all that. And the greatest restrooms on planet Earth is Buc-ee's here in Texas. I don't know if you're not from Texas or some of the states around you, you won't know what a Buc-ee's is. But I'll tell you, Buc-ee's is the most insane gas stations you'll ever see,
Yep.
and their restrooms are the best.
Always clean, and they're ginormous.
And if we're on a trip and it says Buc-ee's in 2 hours, we're holding it for 2 hours. That's the way it is. So, and there's one more thing I want to say on that is some of these gas stations, I seen it posted by someone the other day. They have a hallway that's plenty wide, and they have a door with a good bathroom you can get down. But they like to use that hallway as their storage closet.
We have run into that at gas stations and restaurants, where you can't get in just because there's so much stuff up and down the hallways or in front of the door.
Yeah, so that's bad. And now's the one where I get kind of salty and mad and stuff. It's people who hog the bathroom stalls, the handicap stalls. Even people who are not handicapped, they think that's a good place to take phone calls or take a 6-hour dump.
Yeah, or talk on the phone, or whatever they're doing in there. And if the bathroom is completely full, and you got to use it, okay, you got to use it. But the real frustration, the bigger frustration, it's frustrating usually, is when there's a regular stall there, and somebody is using the handicap stall, and it's not just for, doing that. Cody, people with disability, they need the extra room, the privacy just to go number one, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So, it's not just about that, but when they take that stall, because they think nobody else is going to miss it.
Yeah. And, so that's it with the bathrooms. Now, here's another thing that irks me. That's a weird word. But, people not paying attention in stores or in the mall. I'm talking about the people who walk around typing on their phone while they're walking. Or you have the people that won't look down at tall people and stuff. You'd think I'd be in a wheelchair and it'd be easy to see, but they'll nearly trip over me and go, "Oh, I didn't see you there." I'm like, "You look down ever?" Yeah. But yeah, it's really bad. I've almost ran into people in the store, and trust me, you don't want to be looking at your phone and have this power chair run into you. It's not going to feel good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if you've seen people do that to me.
Once in a while, I haven't seen it as much because obviously that's just one of those things that really is personal to it. But yeah, I've seen it a little bit.
I kind of, and then that's part of shopping. I want to put shopping and wearing a mask together here. So whenever I go shopping, I like to go look around the store on my own. But if there's anything I want to get off the shelf, I just can't get it. I have to go find someone to help me get it off the shelf.
Yeah.
And it's just, I can't look at things good in the store. I can't study packaging. And I actually prefer shopping online just because it's so hard in the store to go shop.
Yeah. With
And then, obviously, you can tell Daddy's not quite as, notice these problems as much as I do, but
I mean, I see them, but you. Go ahead.
And then masks. It's a real important thing now, wearing a mask, and we always talk about wearing it, but I can't lift my arms up to look at my phone, so I have to look down, and every time I look down, the mask goes up over my eyes, and I cannot see my phone, and so I can't look down, or I have to look down if I'm holding anything to read it or whatever, and I can't get my hands up to my face, so I look down and it covers my eyes. I don't know of any solutions for that. If you have a solution for that, please let me know, but I can't think of one. Yeah.
You have on here, looking at our outline, going out to eat, and a lot of restaurants are, if you can get in, a lot of them you can. There are those that you can't. But then finding a spot to sit where you're not where you can comfortably eat and not have people tripping over you.
Mm-hmm.
And it bothers them, it bothers you. They stick you in this spot in the middle of the room or right in a walkway or something. Do appreciate those restaurants like, okay, Whataburger comes to mind because it's the best restaurant ever. But they have tables kind of along the wall, and there's a spot there, and not just Whataburger. McDonald's has them. Different various restaurants do have designated spots where you can get up to it with a chair, and they're not necessarily in a major walkway, but there's enough room to get to them. I see that as being a frustration.
Yeah, and then you talk about those designated places. It's kind of like the bathrooms. People will sit down at that table without disability, and all of a sudden you can't use that table no more because they're using it.
Yep.
It seems like there'd be rules against that, like restrooms and tables. It seems like they'd tell you to move, but it's kind of a downfall on the people running the place too.
Yep.
But the last thing is phone calls in public. I have to be on speaker to make phone calls, and that's difficult. There's not much to explain on that. I can't be on speaker in the store, so I'll miss a lot of phone calls. I kind of jumped around right here, but we're talking about going out to eat and going to movies and stuff. The thing that frustrates me with that is I need help. I talk about, like, if I ever went on a date with somebody, I have to have someone to help me on my date. Do you know what it's like having your parents with you on a date so they can help you? That's just a frustration. It's like, really? And I've gone on dates with people before, and they've gone good, but as far as eating stuff, there ain't no way.
And just to demonstrate, not to be mean, but go ahead and raise your arm up so people understand what you're talking about.
I can't even get in frame.
That's it. He just did his hand like this.
Yeah.
That's all the range of motion. He didn't have use of his arms or his legs. He uses his hands and everything, but his arms have to be right here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, either the table needs to be right here, or somebody has to help him eat.
Mm-hmm. And it's just rough. And by the way, talking about going on dates, I'm single and ready to mingle when the coronavirus is over.
And he's going to be selling Project Maynard's bikini spoon.
And if Daddy had it his way, we'd have fur-lined ones too.
Fur-lined bikinis.
But that's all we have for the first half of this podcast. Hopefully you gained some insight to what it's like going out in public with a disability. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Guess That Car Sound. Now it's time for Guess That Car Sound. Guess That Car Sounds where one of us picks a video or audio clip of a car and the other person guesses what it is. This week, Daddy's picking a car, and I'm going to guess. He was more prepared for it than I was, so he's going to do it again this week.
Okay, and just like last week's, it's a car I like. This clip is really probably more difficult than the last one.
Really?
It is, just because I couldn't find a really good clip of the car, and I really want to do this car. So listen to it, but again, keep in mind that it'll probably be one of my favorite cars, besides the Fox Body Mustang. And then that's all it is just an idle clip. I'll tell you what, let me play it again for you. It's kind of unfair.
It's not no good.
It's just really kind of unfair.
Is it V8?
It's not a V8.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. At the end, it kind of sounds like one. At the beginning, it didn't sound like one.
Yeah, it's not a V8.
Not a V8. Is it import?
It is not import. That should
I got it. Is that a GNX?
It is a
Grand
GNX.
National.
It is a GNX.
Is it actually the X?
It's supposed to be a GNX. Yeah, not just a Grand National, but a GNX.
Yeah, that's if it's American
It's a
and
cold
it's
start.
V6 and it's your favorite. Yeah.
It's a cold start.
Yeah. Well, that's really unfair though because it's such a boring engine. Boring sounding engine.
Well, I wanted to get more of the turbo sound, and I just couldn't get a good one with the turbo sound. So the cold start.
They actually don't make a very loud turbo sound anyway.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah. So.
But it was definitely a Grand National. I thought it was a GNX. It may or may not be. But so if you don't know, that is like an 85, 67 Buick Grand National turbo V6. Look them up. They're awesome. They're one of the best cars from the 80s. Besides Fox Body Mustangs, that's on my bucket list of cars I really like to own.
Mm-hmm. And so that's it for Guess That Car Sound. We're going to get right back to the discussion. Okay, I want to start this one with eating and snacks, and you can even talk about this one a little bit. So eating regular meals, I need help eating meals. I mean, I can feed myself, but I can't do it very long, so I usually get help with it.
And when you do feed yourself, it's more of a workout and more frustrating for you that you don't really enjoy eating.
Yeah, I just don't enjoy it. And I take a lot of blood pressure medicine too, and I've eaten lunch and been leaned forward like that, and the change in blood flow can cause some major problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get a lot of help with it. I can do it, but it's not very fun feeding myself. And then snacks is a big issue. A lot of people are like, well, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to have a snack. Well, I need someone to help me, and there's not always someone available to help me when I want to eat a snack. So I eat most of my snacks in the evening. Before bed, I have to actually designate a time to eat snacks.
Yeah.
So.
Because you do need help, and most people, I'm going to go get a candy bar, or I'm going to get, whatever. You insert your favorite snack here, and Cody has to wait till someone can help him with it.
Yeah, hungry in middle of the day or whatever, and someone's not around to help me. Well, just have to deal with it until the next meal or until someone can help me. But yeah, and then drinking is the same ordeal, really. It's a little easier drinking. If I have a long enough straw, I can drink it. But
if you have the right setup. But again, you have to have the right setup. And
then sometimes the straw spins around the cup, and then you have a problem.
Well, and at that, most people, they want to have a drink. Well, they're doing something else, and they want to have a drink. Well, it's almost like if Cody's going to have a drink, he's going to do it himself. He can't do anything else but drink. Because it has to be on the table in front of him with the straw in front of his face. So he can lean over and take a drink and then sit back. So pretty much watching TV.
Yeah, watching TV. I have to have a table right up against me and stuff.
So if you're sitting here right now working on the computer, you wouldn't have a drink in front of you. You wouldn't go see the computer.
Yeah.
Cody did find a cup, and he has it, but he probably needs a new straw.
Yeah, I need a new one.
But it's a metal cup, kind of like a Yeti cup almost. Just picture that. And it has a lid, but the straw is like flexible, but you can actually put it in a position.
It's sturdy.
So he can put it, he has a cup holder on the back of his chair, and he can put it there and bring it around and put the straw right here.
I'm angled the wrong way to see it.
It's angled wrong to see it. But anyway, if you can figure it, but the thing, and we don't even have it on this outline, but probably a disability frustration that I don't see here is the expense of things.
Oh yeah, that cup he's talking about, and it ain't even like good Yeti material.
Yeah, well, it's not a super thermal,
but it's like, was it like
50?
I don't know, like $60 or $70.
It may have been. I know it was at least $50.
Yeah, it was over $50. I know for sure.
Yeah, it's not. It's not that It's anything designated medical or something that will help you is at least 3 times more than it should be. Probably more than that. And that's probably conservative.
And it's because they know you need it, so they can charge whatever they want because you're going to buy it.
Yep.
And that's just really annoying. That's like.
Yep. So.
I have on here. This is kind of funny, gross, whatever. but I have number 2, like going to the bathroom. That at home is kind of a problem sometimes, but in public mainly. If I have to go number 2 in public, it's kind of hard to lift me and stuff. And if I'm in public, I have to be lifted if I need to use the bathroom like that. And then at home, I can't get on the toilet as fast as I need to or anything because it takes so long to do it, the transitioning.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I'll say on that. And brushing teeth is something else I can't do. I need help with, and I get help with that. There's not much to discuss with that one either. The next thing is something I really get frustrated with is getting stuff stuck in my teeth. I can't get it out of my teeth. I can't reach my hand up there to get it out of my teeth, and I can't use a toothpick. And I've tried many times to have someone help me do it, and all they do is stab my gums, and it really hurts. There ain't no way to get help with that. But yeah. You can talk about showers a little bit.
So, showers, basically anything physical, if you're starting to get the picture here. In showers is another thing. When it's time to get Cody a shower, I have to help him. And on top of it being, for him, frustrating, most people wouldn't want to have somebody else give them a shower, to have to be undressed and have to be washed and everything. But it is, even in an ideal situation, which we don't have an ideal situation here at the moment, but you still have to have somebody. Mm-hmm. And with our setup, it works really well. I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't, but it does. I do have to lift Cody from the toilet to a shower chair, and then wash him, mm-hmm. and then put him back on the toilet from the shower chair and get dried. And it is a process. And and again, just on top of the process, just having to have somebody do that for you. I mean, just picture yourself. You want your parents giving you a shower. And
we need a better setup here to figure it out. If Daddy's not here, I don't get a shower. It's just I can't do it with our setup. There's so much physical lifting and stuff that I need him to do it. And there's been a few occasions, there have been some recently, where he just hasn't been able to be home, and I just kind of have to miss out, taking a shower. And that's kind of the same thing with going number 2. The way we have it set up here, it's not the best, and I have to wait on Daddy, so that is something that he didn't really bring up, is how much we rely on him to help with the heavy lifting items. I get a lot of help from both my parents. It's just that Daddy is the one that has to do the heavy items, and
we split things up. There's we both take care of them equally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, again, yeah. Anyway, and that's the same with bedtime. I sleep in my power chair if Daddy's not around, because once again I have to be lifted and stuff. So lifting, we haven't minimized some, but we haven't minimized enough. So that can be frustrating, not having the perfect setup.
Yeah, too. I don't know there's anything more we can do really as far as bed, because we do. I guess that's another frustration, a Hoyer lift. Mm-hmm. And I guess just having to use an appliance, what's the better word for the appliance?
I don't know, crutch. I don't know words.
Yeah, just anyway, a hoist to move them most places. Like I said, I do physically move them some, but get them out, get Cody out of bed in bed. We have to actually use a lift. Mm-hmm. to move them around, and it just takes.
There's a couple more things I had on here to talk about, but I ain't really gonna talk about them because it's kind of the same as a Hoyer lift. Having the equipment and stuff is just super annoying.
Yeah.
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 But
stuff. Yeah. Okay.
But that's all we have for the disability frustrations discussion. We'll be back with the closing of the podcast. That's all we have for you this time. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at Project Maronstain, on Instagram at Project Maronstain, on YouTube by searching Project Maronstain, and on Twitter at Project Maynard1. Also, be sure to check out the Project Maynard Sting website.
ProjectMainSting.com.
And that's all we have for you this time. Thank you for watching.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.